So my last channeling conversations with people who are dead. Uh, but there is parrot in the other room, and he's singing all the time now, and sometimes gets too loud. I will close the door. So, I want to share a story that happened just yesterday. I was doing channeling with my friends, let's say, and the first thing that happened, I couldn't enter the channeling state because I was in a different room, I was in a different flat, I was in a different place, and people were not standing. Like three people on the left, one on the right, and there were some candles burning also. It was really blocking for me somehow. So we decided to split up in a circle. Then it was better. Then we blew out all the candles, and it was okay. Now it's really good. But still, they asked questions, and no information was coming. I was like, "Oh, interesting. Oh, really, really strange. Never happened like this before." But also, it was like the entities came and they say, "You people are not serious in this channel session, because a woman asks a question and then the question is being answered, and she just goes away or starts talking with another person, and so on and so on." It was like, okay, if you don't listen, then it's no information for you also. But then was we stopped channeling, and then it was they were sitting and just talking, and I said, "Well, I still want to do channeling." And I said, "Okay, maybe let's try some dead people who are past." And then one woman said, "Try a woman called Liga." I didn't know what she is or what was all. Just a name. And I said, "Okay." And I said, "Okay, now here's a now I see a woman with brown hair, and she's really positive and really happy, and I just don't know how she died. She's showing me on the left side of the body." As I'm sharing more and more information, she's really positive. She's really conversational, social, and she loves dancing and so on. And that woman who has this liga, she now feels a little bit strange. And I said, "What up?" She said, "Yeah, you perfectly described my mother." I was like, "Oh, this is really interesting because many, well, it's not really interesting, but interesting as that many times when people say, do you see my father Arthur, for example?" And then I start thinking too much, and I'm like, okay, how would she do, and all. But then it was okay. I have no idea what it is. Nobody asked me, show me my father, my brother, blah blah blah. It was like, okay, Aliga, and then Aliga showed up, and it was like, wow, really, really interesting, really interesting. And 2 days ago, I was 2 days ago I was visiting a one woman for channeling, and she was we were talking on many things, and she asked about her father, and suddenly the father showed up with a beard like this. And I was like, okay, he has a beard. She said yes, and I was like, oh, now I have some confirmation. And I was like interested in the house. She lives in the house. I was interested in the house. I was like asking to this father about the house, and he showed many wood materials. And I thought he was building his house and so on. So I said he was a carpenter or something. She said no. I was like, okay, but I just see many building materials from wood. And she said, oh yeah, when we lived here, when we just moved here, there were many building materials of wood. And the girls, she was young and she used to play with that, running around or something like this. And I was like, okay. And the all characters that I see, he was really strong in the sense of, mm, strong parents teaching children, you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do that. He was really in this way. She said yes, he was really strong. And then what happened was that information came. Now you know that he is he, for example, and you can go into contact more deeper. And I was like, it will be really many tears. And then we refused. Then I refused to do this because people would be very crying. For example, when I communicate with my grandfather, he is really loving, heartful, and really, I don't know, no way, really, I just tears start popping up out of nowhere. And also, this happened to the woman, Liga, which come through, that we decided to stop. I decided to stop because of so many tears, and so on and so on. So, about communicating with past ones, how I think this happens, the communication. First is you have to have a confirmation that he is he. So, for example, a person asks, I want to communicate with my father, for example. And first thing is a confirmation comes that, okay, he looks like this. Is it true? She says no, she says yes. If she says yes, or he says yes, then it's like, okay, now I know that this entity is closer. Maybe a little bit more confirmations are necessary. For example, I was communicating also with another past grandfather for my girlfriend, and she said, "Okay, I want to talk to my grandfather." I said, "Okay." Instantly, somebody appeared. Instantly, and I was saying he says that he has a or had a land somewhere in Latvia. She's saying what? And he is showing boats, like fishing boats, small boats, wood boats, really small. She's like, no, that's not my grandfather. He says he is your grandfather. She said, no, I don't have any grandfather. And and I say, he's really connected. He's really positive. He's really sharing, and so on and so on. She said, no, he wasn't really sharing. And then few moments later, she started saying, wait, but I have another grandfather from my mother's side, and he lives somewhere in the countryside, and he has the land, and he's really joyful and has many hobbies. And then the entity says, yes. And so we were thinking about the person, but a different person came. And then we tried to communicate her grandfather. This was okay. This was really friendship, and he was really loving her grandfather. And her grandfather wasn't communicating. He was like, "What do you want?" And I said, "He's really angry." And she said, "Yeah, he was upset many times, and so on and so on." Well, I said, "Look, I don't want to talk to him. He's really angry." So we didn't talk to him. So what I want to say is that some personalities are really positive, really sharing, really conversational, and some aren't. It's the same when you go outside in the street. Some people love to smile and look at you. Some like, oh, I don't see you, I don't see you. So I think if you do want to learn channeling, you should try to communicate with relatives that were really positive for you. For example, another thing is my grandfather. I feel it right here now. Also, he is like he was an alcoholic from our physical perspective. But now I see him as he was really deep, heartful, and loving. But he did alcohols because he couldn't maybe express himself in this way. He had a blockage of expressing himself in this way. And now when he comes, he has so much heartfulness in him that is just too much for me, or maybe for others. So that's why. So that's why I also think that many times there is reason for the communication not happen because you don't need to cry too much, but maybe later you can, step by step. And another thing, just for me, if I can say, I was maybe years ago. I was like, "Oh, what is existence? Existence, infinite, non-existence." I felt strange. I felt fearfulness, and so on, so on. Now I just don't care anything. I don't care about any of all that. I was maybe from another planet. I was sent here. I was like, I will maybe die. I will maybe be this, maybe a non-existence, just infinite existence, tired and everything, and so on and so on. Now I don't care. I have really strange astral abilities. No, not abilities, but astral insights. Uh, Before I was okay. What was that dream? I don't understand. What was it? Now I'm just like, oh, whatever. Uh, mm, well, maybe not whatever about that information, but about whatever is it that you go outside the body, you go see there's something, and you come back, you go, oh, what was that? What was that? But then I was like, oh, whatever. Now I'm back. Okay, that was nothing. That was like, okay. So maybe ignorance, it's called. I don't know. Maybe I got used to it. Maybe it's not frightening me anymore. So all these ideas about existences, about other realities, and so on, are not that shocking for me anymore. And for many others, they have fears about existence, non-existence, how is on the other side, and so on. So many ideas that are that cause us to feel strange. And now I can think all over of those things, and I don't feel strange in any way. So this is really I feel really comfortable now about thinking whatever I wish to think. I don't get these strange feelings anymore. And I am thinking now, past days, that I would really love to do channeling for like audience, maybe also for low profit. Maybe not for like profit, but for low income, just so that I can pay off my, I don't know. For example, now I'm sharing this video. It takes me maybe 1 to 2 hours to do this video. A little bit of thinking over, and then cleaning my room, and then I do the videos. But I have so much job to do in other places. Like I do printing, I do charity, I do website programming, and so on. And on. So I just don't, and I just need maybe just to pay off those 1 or 2 hours. And for there are many people writing me now from all over the world. It's just that I would really love to share all this, but I also need to pay rents, and I also need to buy some food sometimes. So I would really love to do this, maybe not now, but later for like audience. Privately, free, that's no problem for me, but just so little that it can pay off some little part of my, I don't know, maybe some rent. I just don't know. Just I would really love to do it professionally because I get so excited about doing this. For example, one man asks. He was like sitting and communicating with his angels, and then he says, "Stop, stop, stop! What you were communicating is with your 2 or 3 angels, and they are really playful, excited, and joyful." And maybe something additional, I don't remember. And then entity already knew what he was asking, and he said, "Stop," and answered it. I was like, "Whoa, this is really interesting." And then the person said, that's what I thought. And he was like, "Whoa, the information already was there for him, just after his few words." And he continued talking, and he said, "Stop," and then he shared this information. So, and little addition to because I'm not doing many videos lately now, is a little additionally to something more about all what is going on is that everybody can do channeling, and it's just that. It's just that, for example, like me, I do it for others. Like, I don't know, like for you, like for you, like for him, and everybody can do it for themselves. For example, yesterday also there was a boy, a little bit younger than me, well, I wouldn't classify myself as a boy anymore, but he was asking about his guide, and he said that you have an ET, a gray ET, alien that looks gray color, gray, like dolphin color, and he's really intellectual and intelligent, and he's really like you. He's really alike like you. And he was like, there was a girl left inside of him, and she was like laughing. She started to laugh. Oh, if you want to see how an alien looks like you, look at him. And then they get angry. Why do you make fun of other people? It's not serious, and it's not that you need to do that. And then he explained, I like you is, for example, you have a same thinking and intellectual pattern, meaning that sometimes when you go to your work or do the jobs that is your work, programming, something with intellect, you start to feel that you suddenly receive good ideas and good results and good inspirations about how this thing needs to be solved or about how this thing works. And this is just because you are alike. You cannot strongly identify whether this was your thought or the entity's thought because you are alike. You are really close in thinking pattern. For example, sometimes when I channel different entities, I feel a really strong distinguish between my thinking way and the entity's thinking way. But he has really similar way of thinking. And the person said, well, why is he here? What is he doing? He said, he will guide you to higher understanding through intellectual thinking. So, and I said, then I said to this entity, well, show me his higher self and something. He said, no. And I said, okay, whatever. Not like whatever, but what like, okay, I understand maybe now it's not the right time for me or him to know. So there's many times information not given. It's like you see there's blackness. Not like blackness when you close your eye, you see a space, like something like space. But then you see like a blackness in front of you, meaning that information is blocked for you. So you don't see any colors, you just see blackness. I say, okay, so many times also the dead entity came, the one which I said who was angry and upset, he came and he is all in black, meaning I don't want to talk to you, I don't want to show anything about me, and so on and so on. But in just a few moments, if you talk to him and say, okay, just please, 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 and then he said, okay, then he appears and you can see him. And another thing, really another thing, I want to answer these questions right now for the people who don't ask these questions ever again to me. Are entities faking? Are entities giving misguidance? Are entities showing up this path and so on and so on? All the things you can imagine. First is, I'm sure, entities never tell stories in front of you that you didn't ask. So basically, it's question and answer. Therefore, there's nobody telling you any nonsense that you are not interested in. Second is what they'll always tell is, we give you only our perspective of the thing that you ask or wish to know. Third thing is they never tell you what to do in front of you, like, hey, you should do this now. Hey, you should do this. They never do that. They just give you their own point of view. That's it. Another thing is, I asked him, why do people ask these questions? They said that this basically comes from religion, a control system, because earlier in times, the religion was so limited and so aggressive to other people. And then even those spiritual masters that have died and those people who are still in this system of religion control system had gone to communicate with the masters that had died. The masters were giving them different information about what is being taught in their religious states and religious belief systems. And then the information they received was mind-blowing, true, but the information that the religion taught was fake, because it was maybe you have to be feared of that, you have to do this, you have to give all your money to the church, and so on and so on. And the master said it's not necessary, this is in any way fake. Well, not like fake, they don't say fake. This is just not pleasant. This is not how it's supposed to be, and so on and so on. And then the religious belief system just rewrote their books, rewrote their belief system, just rewrote everything, and saying that, okay, these people, these entities are not real, they can fake, they can disguise, and all that is real is only this that we have here. And so on and so on. Maybe through ages and times it was going on and going on. And another thing is, are there bad entities? Don't ask this question again, because it's just like speaking to an empty basket. It's like it's like if you hear this question many times a day, you get like, okay, people, you just don't know, and there isn't any bad out there. Only bad that is your own resistance. There is nothing badder than humans. What we see is that humans are below the low level, and nothing even lower can exist, because then it's too dense, then it's too physical. It's like we have here. It's really hard to have a lower level in terms of negativity. And the thing is that there was a girl saying, okay, aren't you afraid to go to hell? I said, no. It's like, it's just another reality that you can choose to experience. Heaven is also another reality that you choose to experience. Earth is another reality that you choose to experience. All other realities is just another reality that you choose to experience. But the people many times are so sucked into fear that when they think of these thoughts, they start shaking fear. They start receiving illusions. They're just like, okay, I don't want, I don't want, I don't want, I don't, and they don't realize that this is only the energy that has been put up in them. And when they start to think of these things, they start feeling fear. It's like, and because they fear, they don't need to resist to these fears. They need to go through it, and then they will realize that this is only energy in their own energy field that feels bad, feels sick, feels horrible, feels terrifying. And when the energy moves out of your body, you have no reaction whatsoever on this. And you can be really clear, really energized, really positive, and really high level. All people are fed up with fears about the things that they don't know. For example, like, you don't know what will happen after you die. And then it's easy to give fears to you because you don't know. And when you don't know, you feel like, oh, I don't know what's going to happen. And then you can have all kinds of fears. Easily can give it up to you. And it's your choice to have these fears. And you choose them because of your fears. You go more into your fears, discover that this is only an energy that you choose to accept to be true. And when you go through it, you will realize, and that was it. That was it. It was so funny. I had such a belief system. It's just you who ask these questions about negative bad energies, whatever, only have fears. And you have to go through these fears and realize that this is just an illusion, just fears, and just energy that stands within you. But the thing is to go through these, because they are not maybe not knowledgeable about all these things, maybe not knowing that they have the power to choose between which and what they want to experience. And this is the one of the reasons of these questions. And there was another question, this guys. I'm giving. So the main idea is that you get the answers that you want to get. You choose what this information is. You choose does it serve you or does it not serve you. You choose all the things you need to choose. And no entity will tell in front of you. If there is an entity telling in front of you, telling like stories, I don't know, any kinds of stories. Well, basically, you can say this is your mind talking. Your mind talking. There's no entity there. This is only your mind. And yeah, so thanks for watching. And And then oh, I can talk more and more and more, but I just don't know what to talk about. So you can write me on my website, which is artlineofflinepeace.info. And you can switch on the English flag on the right side, and pop, you will have your English version right up. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Thank you for everything, whatever you need. Thank you for, and enjoy.